Sup guys, thank you first and foremost for clicking on this video. Secondly, this video is proudly sponsored by these guys, Headspace. Headspace has one mission: to improve the health and happiness of the world. With millions of users in over 190 countries, they're well on the way to doing that. Originally created by an academic who decided to cut short a sports science degree to become a monk. He went on a journey lasting 10 years, travelling through Nepal, India, Russia, Thailand, Burma and Australia, before returning to the UK with a mission to share what he had learnt with as many people as possible. And if we look back in history, that does ring a bell. From the academic classrooms in the UK, all over the world and back again. Headspace was first just an idea, then a small meditation consultancy to an events company, and through an epic business partnership between a monk and a tech whiz, we now have the app called Headspace. So guys, by all means, head down into the description box below, check out Headspace for free, join me and millions of other people around the world experiencing a greater sense of mental health and mental well-being through the use of Headspace. You owe it to yourself and you owe it to everyone around you to take some time and look after your mental health. Thanks for watching guys, and enjoy the video. Sup you guys? How are we? And welcome back to another episode of Rugby Player Reacts. I'm your host, Jacob McDonald, and today we enter the top 13 NFL players for the year of 2021. And we enter it with none other than Jalen Ramsey. Now, if there's one thing for sure, Jalen Ramsey does not need any introduction. He introduces himself every single week to every single opposite wide receiver he marks. Okay? And he lets them know about it. But he not only introduces himself, he usually knocks on the door, barges in, sits at the dinner table, and cuts your lunch. So, we're here to do the man justice. We are here to hear what he has to say, or at least hear what his fellow peers have to say, which is always interesting. But first, I'd be doing you guys and myself a complete disservice if I didn't go and grab that vintage collector's item LA Rams hat from the wall. So, I'll be back in just a minute. Now, not only do we have the vintage Cribs jersey, we've got the vintage glasses, and we've got the vintage hat. So I reckon, guys, we are pretty much ready to roll. Let's roll the intro and crack into it. Well, if it isn't old DK Metcalf, what's he got to say for his mate Jalen Ramsey? Both confident players, both know what they're doing out there. And, both probably feel like on a good day they could dominate one another. But also know that on a bad day for either of them, there could be some embarrassment. Anyway, let's get into it.
Who is the toughest cornerback that you've faced?
Jalen Ramsey. I mean, just his trash talk. He's strong, competitive. It's just a battle every time we go up against each other.
Well, Jalen will be happy about that. And I got to say, as far as the battle goes, as far as being out on that island, the battle between a wide receiver and a cornerback, we'll say right now, there are plenty of wide receivers, plenty of cornerbacks that have been in the league for far, far longer than these guys. But for me, having only been a fan for about 3 or 4 years, the matchup that I enjoy the most is DK Metcalf versus Jalen Ramsey.
Without putting me into the factor, I think the best kind of corner would be at the line, kind of early on, be Jalen Ramsey.
You seem a bit unsure of yourself there, mate. And we didn't need that first sentence. If you belong on the list, you belong on the list.
It makes everybody's job easier when you got somebody like that.
Being a standout in the secondary generally means locking down opponents' number one receivers.
He's got the speed to match. That's the thing that we all forget. He has a 40-inch vertical jump. He's got 4.4 flat 40-yard dash pace, and he's got a tenacious attitude.
Those who faced Jalen Ramsey faced little space and little chance.
Outstanding coverage by Jalen Ramsey.
He's just a guy that's different from everybody else. When you turn on the tape there, he's a guy that's backside, and he's going to be man-to-man on your best guy, and it's going to be a long day.
It was a long day for receivers DeAndre Hopkins.
Jeez, he looks intense, doesn't he? He looks as if he's got a job to do. One job and one job only. To either mark your ass down so well that the ball doesn't even come to you, but if it does, it's not going to be an easy catch.
Allen Robinson, Terry McLaurin.
Now, he's famous for having his mouth guard out of his mouth. Does he ever play with his mouth guard in? That is the question.
Mike Evans and DK Metcalf, who all squared off against Ramsey in 2020.
Another suffocating effort by Ramsey.
Now, what was the stat?
Gonna be a long day.
It was a long day for receivers DeAndre Hopkins, Allen Robinson, Terry McLaurin, Mike Evans, and DK Metcalf.
As far as a wide receiver carousel, god damn. Are they the teams that are in his division?
Who all squared off against Ramsey in 2020.
Another suffocating effort by Ramsey.
This group averaged less than 30 yards per game.
I'll tell you what, if you didn't enjoy that little battle there, that little 4 or 5 second, 40-yard spurt, the ball didn't go to DK, but the battle was nice.
And 0 touchdowns.
Jalen Ramsey, worth every penny.
Hang on. He led in 0 touchdowns.
Another suffocating effort by Ramsey.
This group averaged less than 30 yards per game and 0 touchdowns.
Jalen Ramsey, worth every penny.
I was just going to say that. You took the words out of my mouth, mate. Worth every penny. If that is the case, that's a true shutdown corner. The only problem here is that there is only one Jalen Ramsey out there.
You could just tell his instincts, his knowledge of the game.
They just tried to get you inside and give him a wide split, run the slant so you can be aggressive and I'm going to just go.
His overall ability, man, is just
I tell you what, if you didn't know he jumped 40 inches, you would now.
it's unmatched. He's definitely one of the top corners in this league.
That seemed effortless. Look at it. Look at the hops. I mean, that's actually incredible. That would clear a 6-foot high jump and he's facing forwards.
Jalen Ramsey breaks it up.
Jalen Ramsey's one of the best in the league, if not the best corner doing it. And it's because of the way he attacks every rep. He don't back down.
That battle, guys, is just something else. If you can join me this year for when the Seahawks play the Rams, I'll certainly be here for a live stream. We've got to catch this. We have to see this live. Because if either player gets it over the other, the trash talk is going to be interesting, to say the least.
Jalen Ramsey, is he a handful or what?
If he senses that fear, he's going to try to embarrass the other receiver and embarrass that offense, and he's going to try to let you know about it.
He's a guy who's coached very well and a guy who has that swagger, has that tenacity to be one of the best cornerbacks in this league.
Make sure you go wherever I go. Don't run.
He's the total package. He can play press. He can play off. He can bail. When he's on the field, you know that he sticks out from everybody else. He's just a different cat.
Ramsey sat
Once again,
on that
look at the
route
hops.
and
Look at
hit
it.
the target.
Look at it. He's flying. He's literally floating in the air. There's no tight end out there that's going to match him for hops, that's for sure. And with all of that in mind, let's have a look at his stats. So, Jalen Ramsey is 26, 6'1", 94 kilograms. Pick number 5 in the first round of the 2016 draft. Went to the Jags, as we know. Could quite well have been part of the reason why I jumped on the bandwagon. But unfortunately, he jumped off and left me on my own with UCF Jaguar. But that's okay. He went to the Rams in 2019 and he's been there ever since. Now, when he did go to the Rams, it was part of a trade. He played out the remainder of the season. And then in 2020, this time last year, September 9th, literally this time last year. Today's date is September the 9th. On September the 9th, 2020, Ramsey signed a 5-year, $105 million extension with the Rams. The deal made him the highest paid defensive back in NFL history. And as we heard, it's money well spent. In 5 seasons, he's played 75 career games, 287 combined tackles, 249 of which are solo, and 38 assisted. Now, it doesn't matter whether you're a cornerback, a safety, a linebacker, or a lineman. To have so many of your combined tackles as solo is not normal. Now, what that tells me is that Jalen Ramsey gets to the spot, he makes the tackle, and he don't need any help. In 75 career games, he has a total of 58 passes deflected, 11 interceptions, going for 114 total yards, and 1 touchdown. He has 3 forced fumbles in his career. Now, that's regular season. He's been to the postseason twice, once with the Jags and once with the Rams. Played 5 total games, 15 combined tackles, 11 solo, 4 assisted, 2 passes deflected, 1 interception, and that's about it. There is one statistic that stands out to me, and it's not for the right reasons. It's the fact that he's got 0 sacks. Now, when I think about that, it tells me that he's never not marking their best wide receiver, which then means that wherever that wide receiver goes, he's going to go too. So when the quarterback rolls out to the left or right, and these cornerbacks who, possibly are on their own, possibly are lining up as an option to sack the quarterback, statistically, they're going to have a far better chance to actually get that sack, right? And unfortunately, Jalen Ramsey is just never in a position to do it, obviously. Would I put it past him to get a sack? No. Is it looking likely? No, it's not. He runs a 40-yard dash in 4.41 seconds, a 3-cone drill in under 7 seconds, a vertical jump which is among the best in history, I'm going to say, 41.5 inches, 11 foot 3 on the broad jump, 14 reps on the bench, and a Wonderlic score of 24. The top vertical jumps in NFL history. The best vertical jump in NFL history, 46 inches, Gerald Sensabaugh. Wow, that is unbelievable. And this man here holds the NFL record, 46 inches, 6'1", 212 pounds, which is basically a carbon copy of Jalen Ramsey. Cameron Wake, look at the man. He jumps 45.5. Okay, we move on. Chris Chambers, wide receiver, 45 inches. Let's have a look at this. Well, you didn't need to jump too high, but I get the picture. Chris McKenzie, 45 inches. Donald Washington, 45 inches. Chris Conley, 45 inches. Byron Jones, 44.5. AJ Jefferson, 44. Obi Melifonwu, 44. And last but not least, rounding out the top 10, Marcus Williams, defensive back, 43.5 inches. So current players, I'd have to say, Marcus Williams takes the cake. And look, I'm not going to say that 41.5 inches is world leading, but it's certainly world class. So let's continue the video.
Get to the football.
He's one of the more technically gifted guys on the field, and I think he's one of the guys that hone in on his craft to be the best that he can be, and it shows year in and year out.
Jalen Ramsey is playing as well as any defensive back in the entire NFL.
It's a fact Ramsey is a true shutdown corner.
Jalen Ramsey making a play, batting the ball down.
But what else makes him so good?
I mean, the way he tackles.
Okay.
Jalen Ramsey put the pop on him.
There's been plays of him tackling, going to tape.
Jalen Ramsey, let's heads up tackle. That's what you teach your kids.
Hang on. He throws one guy off, takes one step, is able to muster up enough force, enough energy to then go and hit the next guy, Golden Tate, with an even bigger tackle.
When they're little.
Or tackling receivers and just dropping them. Respect what he's able to do in this league, no matter the situation.
Okay, so I see two different approaches here. Brute force or a complete smother.
He was in where he was in Jacksonville, LA, didn't matter. He's still going to produce.
Hey, I love watching you play, man. I appreciate it. You've reinvented the position. Keep the ball, man. Thank you.
Who do you think should be the number?
Okay. So it seems he can be humble at times. He can actually take a compliment and not give it straight back to you. I am glad that they added that little, piece in at the end there, because it makes him seem human, if nothing else. He's a bit of an enigma. It's kind of like a myth. Jalen Ramsey being nice, or Jalen Ramsey apologizing, or Jalen Ramsey being respectful. It's a bit of a myth. It's a bit of an enigma. Is that the right word? I'm not sure. I'm going to look it up. But look, at the end of the day, guys, I have to say best of luck to my man Jalen. I'm going to take this hat off now and put it back on the rack. Unless, of course, we have another Rams player coming up. And I think we do. But prior to that, we have another Seahawks player coming up. So I better change my jersey, get ready, and check out Russ Wilson. Certainly a channel favourite, a favourite of mine, and I can only hope and assume a favourite of yours too. So stay tuned, guys. Thank you for watching. That was Rugby Player Reacts to Jalen Ramsey, and I'll see you on the next one for number 12. Let's go.